Hello, and thank you for joining us for the Iowa Cultural and Entertainment District's designation webinar. My name is John Berg, and I am the Arts and Community Development Program Manager for the Iowa Arts Council. Before we get started, a few housekeeping items. All lines are currently muted and will be for the duration of the presentation to produce background noise, as this webinar is being recorded. A link to the recording of the webinar will be emailed to everyone after the presentation. If you have any questions during the webinar, please feel free to use the Q&A feature on your screen, and you may also use this feature if you are experiencing technical difficulties. Here's a look at the agenda for the webinar. The purpose of this presentation is to familiarize yourself with the Iowa Arts Council and our role in administering the grants that are supported by the state and federal government, provide an overview of the grant program goals and eligibility, and walk through the application requirements and how to successfully submit a proposal using the online system. Let's begin with an overview of the Iowa Arts Council. The Iowa Arts Council is your state arts agency, meaning we are an entity within state government. We're a division of the Iowa Department of Cultural Affairs. The mission of the department is to empower Iowa to build and sustain culturally vibrant communities by connecting Iowa to the people, places, and points of pride that define our state. The department is made up of 3 divisions: the State Historical Society of Iowa, the Iowa Arts Council, and Produce Iowa, the State Office of Media Production. The Iowa Arts Council is the arts arm of the department, and our mission is to cultivate creativity, participation, and learning in the arts. We administer funding, networking, and learning opportunities that support arts and culture across Iowa. Funding for our work in this program comes from the federal government through the National Endowment for the Arts, and from the state government through the annual appropriations, from the Iowa legislature to the Iowa Arts Council. The takeaway here is the Iowa Arts Council's work is funded with taxpayer dollars, so the program value of what we do is an essential component of our programs, especially our grant programs. Let's start with a look at the application timeline for the Cultural and Entertainment District's designation. This will give you an idea of what to expect in terms of turnaround and communication for the program after application. Please note that all reference communications is sent via email, so it's important to provide current contact information in all material. Here's a look at the timeline for the designation program. The deadline to apply for the program is 11:59 p.m. on May 1st. Once applications are submitted, they will undergo review by staff for eligibility. Full applications will undergo review by the Iowa Arts Council staff for eligibility, and eligible applicants will be sent to a competitive review panel by the Iowa Cultural and Entertainment District's Advisory Committee. Applicants will be notified by the end of June of designation decisions, and applicants who are awarded designation will receive a memorandum of understanding via email and information about their designation. Upon receipt of the signed memorandum of understanding, districts will be designated for 10 years, at which they will be required to apply for redesignation in order to maintain their status as an Iowa Cultural and Entertainment District. In addition, all designated districts will be required to complete an annual report for the program by August 1st, beginning 1 year after the designation. It's important to determine whether a program is the right fit for you. So to do so, make sure you've reviewed all available material before applying. Please note that the Iowa Arts Council's grant process is entirely paperless, and all program materials are available online, and all communication will be sent via email. We have an accessibility coordinator on staff for anyone who needs assistance with the application process, and her information will be given at the end of this presentation. Step 1 is to go to the Iowa Arts Council's website, iowaculture.gov/arts. Then click on the Grants tab. Here you'll find a list of Iowa Arts Council administered grant programs, including this one. Download or view the guidelines for the specific grant program that you wish to apply for, and each Iowa Arts Council administered grant has a different set of requirements and guidelines that applicants must follow. Please make sure you closely read and understand these guidelines. The guidelines also include a scoring rubric so you can see how an application will be evaluated. You also need to read the Iowa Arts Council's funding policies, which cover rules and requirements for our grant programs as a whole. Step 3 is to visit the Iowa Arts Council's application portal at iowaartscouncil.slideroom.com. Here you'll be able to view a summary of the application requirements by clicking on the link to the program you wish to apply for. To view the full application requirements, you must create an account on SlideRoom and log in. After logging in, you will have access to the narrative questions, word limits, and upload requirements. All material must be submitted online via SlideRoom. The Iowa Arts Council does not accept any materials submitted via mail or email, nor does it accept late material after the deadline passes. Finally, once you've submitted all the available material, contact the Iowa Arts Council staff to ask any remaining questions. Now let's review the Iowa Cultural and Entertainment District's program. The Iowa Cultural and Entertainment District's designation recognizes well-identified, walkable, mixed-use, compact areas of a city or county in which a high concentration of cultural facilities serves as the anchor. To be designated, a cultural and entertainment district must already be an area where arts and cultural activities thrive. Designation by the state is an achievement intended to formally recognize that a particular locale is an acknowledged cultural destination. It has a well-defined boundaries, and people can sense when they've arrived at this unique place. The program goals are to distinguish those districts which have created unique cultural centers and prioritize visitor experiences, promote the districts and their supported activities, and provide technical assistance and professional development opportunities. So some of the benefits are, once designated, the state, through the efforts of the Iowa Department of Cultural Affairs, helps promote projects and initiatives implemented by the cultural and entertainment districts through established networks. Designated cultural and entertainment districts are encouraged to use the Iowa Cultural and Entertainment District logo and marketing efforts, and are provided marketing collateral, including an Iowa Cultural and Entertainment District sign. And these signs serve to market and promote the district. Designated cultural and entertainment districts will be included in the Iowa Creative Places Network and monthly calls, which provide regular opportunities for connection through networking and learning opportunities with creative places and other cultural and entertainment districts across Iowa. Additionally, the Iowa Department of Cultural Affairs staff will provide technical assistance to designated districts, including communications on grant opportunities and professional development workshops. So who can apply? A single entity must be selected to serve as the primary applicant for the designation, while collaborating between a consortium of partners located within the area applying for the designation. Selected entity must meet the definition of an eligible applicant, and this applicant is responsible for submitting the annual report and will be the entity legally obligated to the terms of the memorandum of understanding if awarded designation. Partners and collaborating entities are not required to meet the following requirements: a federally tax-exempt 501c3 nonprofit organization incorporated and physically located in Iowa, a unit of local, county, or federally recognized tribal government physically located in Iowa, or a for-profit or commercial entity located in Iowa. Please note that ineligible applicants include individuals, units of state or federal government, schools or institutions of higher education, religious organizations, labor unions, political parties, or national service and professional organizations, and or Iowa Department of Cultural Affairs grantees who have an outstanding final report or have been placed on a department funding moratorium. Following designation, the cultural and entertainment districts are expected to submit an annual report to the Iowa Department of Cultural Affairs. The report will document the status of the cultural and entertainment district, including the number of new businesses, activities, and promotional efforts within the past year. This is due on August 1st, beginning 1 year following designation. Per statute language, all designated cultural and entertainment districts are required to apply for redesignation every 10 years. The redesignation process will include information updating the cultural district identity, operations, and programming information, the cultural and entertainment district assets, goals for the next 10 years, accomplishments from the previous 10 years, and economic impact. That covers the overall eligibility and goals for the program. Now let's take a look at the content of the application while we walk through the online portal after this section. We wanted to walk you through the content of the application first. Before we begin, I'd like to remind everyone that the scoring criteria included in the guidelines for the program is what the panel will use to review your application. You'll notice that the criteria directly correspond to each section of the application. There are a handful of application sections that are not scored, but are required for the application to be considered complete. The only unscored sections of the application include the contact information and a brief summary of the proposed district's cultural assets. The primary contact information will ask for the contact information of the individual who is submitting the application and who you should contact for any questions. The authorized official information will ask for the contact information for the individual with the legal authority to obligate the applicant. This is the individual who will be responsible for signing the memorandum of understanding. Applicant information will ask for the contact information for the eligible entity submitting the application. This should be the entity that will enter into the 10-year memorandum of understanding and will take responsibility for reporting requirements on the behalf of the district. This entity will remain unchanged over the course of the 10-year period. The name of your proposed cultural and entertainment district will also be included, as well as the district map, which is a map or image of the district, including the street names, transportation corridors, and facilities, and overall district boundaries. The first scored section of the application is the district overview and goals. Notice as we go through these sections how the rubric aligns with the questions. In this section, you'll provide a justification for designation of the cultural and entertainment district, including district goals related to arts and culture, including the presence of anchor arts and cultural attractions, walkability and public access, relationships with local artists and entrepreneurs, and support for new cultural industries, organizations, and artists. A strong application will clearly identify the district's goals and how they connect and support arts, history, culture, and tourism while creating a unique sense of place. The second scored section of the application is the district demographics. District demographics asks for both quantitative and qualitative assessment of the demographics of the area. A strong application will clearly identify the area demographics and address how the assets of the district are meeting the demographics' unique needs. The next section is district partners. This section covers the district partners and district's ability to engage stakeholders. Your response should include all of the partners and organizations who meet on a regular basis to discuss the status and feature of the cultural and entertainment district. The partners must include at least one city or county official. A strong application will list many partners who are diverse and reflect the area's demographics. In the next section, cultural and entertainment district assets, we ask applicants to provide a general description and justification of the assets within the district boundary, including but not limited to general location of the cultural district within the community, historic standing structures, indicate those listed on the National Register of Historic Places, The boundaries of historic districts that are listed on or have been determined eligible for National Register of Historic Places, if any. Cultural, arts, and tourism amenities, entertainment venues, retail service and restaurant amenities, green or open space, and primary pedestrian corridors in the district. The next section is community support material. Here, applicants will attach documentation demonstrating the applicant has community support designated a cultural and entertainment district. These may include, but are not limited to, a letter or resolution by the governing body, city, county, or joint resolution supporting the district, letter or resolutions by other local development corporations or community organizations supporting the cultural district, letters of support from each partner organization on the Cultural and Entertainment District Advisory Council, letters of support by businesses and organizations located within the proposed district. And as a reminder, all documents must be combined into a single file for upload in this section. In the public access section, we ask applicants for a description of the target population served by the district and for your plans to improve upon accessibility efforts over the next 10 years. This may include marketing or promotion strategies to reach target audiences. This will include plans for public access, target audience to benefit from the district, plan to market and disseminate information to target audience, and Americans with Disabilities Act or ADA accessibility features of the district, both existing and proposed. Next section is diversity efforts. This section seeks to garner better understanding of how the district represents their community through the inclusion of diversity, as well as plans to improve upon current efforts over the next 10 years. A strong application will include an explanation of current efforts to address the diversity of your region through district's amenities, and will set 2 goals with corresponding strategies to increase diversity within the district during the 10-year designation. The next section asks applicants to describe incentives the city, county, or community partnering organizations offer to cultural and entertainment enterprises and or qualifying residential cultural workers. Please be as specific as possible about the local incentives offered. Local incentives might include, but are not necessarily limited to, special signage, publicity, local grants, property tax abatements, self-supporting municipal improvement districts or SMIDs, tax increment financing districts or TIFs, rent buydowns, low interest loans or zoning to encourage live-work space for artists, coordination with other economic or community development programs, for example, Main Street, Iowa, certified local government, historic preservation commissions, Chamber of Commerce, or local arts commission and or local businesses. The next section is tourism, based on tourism-driven activities. In this section, we have fun with the tourism-driven section as applicants imagine or describe a weekend itinerary for visiting tourists. Strong applications consider lodging, dining, recreation, retail, performances, museums, and galleries. The next section is support material. We ask you to submit up to 5 media samples that provide additional context for the proposed district and that enhance the case for designation. The media samples may include photos or video of the proposed district, zoning designations within the district for public and private uses, existing use of maps of the districts, housing maps of the district and surrounding area, event announcements. Please do not submit additional narrative or a list of web links in this section. The last piece of the criteria in the rubric covers the case for support. This does not pertain to a specific application section, but rather to the application as a whole. This is where the panel will evaluate the quality of the overall application and whether the application made a strong case for support in terms of designation by the state. So that covers the content of the application. Now we'll take a look at how to complete the application online in Slideroom. Now I'm going to share my screen with you and review the application process. So when you go to iowaartscouncil.slideroom.com, here's what the landing page looks like when you arrive. If you scroll down, you can see all the available opportunities from the Iowa Arts Council that require an application. For the Cultural and Entertainment Districts program, you'll go to the General or All Categories section and click on the 2023 Cultural and Entertainment District application. At the top, you'll see the deadline and a brief description of the program and link to the guidelines, which are also available. You'll have the option to preview the full application, so you don't need to sign in to see the questions. And then you can scroll down to look through each of the required sections of the application, including all the narrative sections and the upload requirements. So here you can preview the full application, all of your forms, all of your application information, district information, basically laid out exactly how I described it earlier. When you're ready, you can click the Apply Now button. If you haven't already done so, you'll want to create an account and click Login. Once you log in, it will take you to the program you were last reviewing. Then you can begin or continue the application. Once you begin, on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see each narrative section that you can click through across the top, and you can click through different sections so that the forums includes all of the narrative. The portfolio is where you'll upload your support material, and submit is where you'll see sections where you have left to complete. Let me actually share this again so I can demonstrate where those sections are. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so as I was mentioning, you can see where the forms are on the left-hand side of the screen, and all those correspond to word fields that will be counted based on the number of spaces or characters. You can then see where the portfolio sections are. That's where you'll upload your media samples. And then finally, the submittal portion, which will flag any missing sections that you haven't completed yet. As you go through the forms section, across the top, you can click on the different sections. So the forms include all of the narrative. Portfolios where you'll upload your support material, and submit is where you'll see the sections you have left to complete. As you go through the forms, when you get to the narrative sections, you'll see down in the bottom right-hand corner that we are counting or tracking characters as you type. So there are character limits in each section, and it does include spaces. We encourage you to use a word processor or a document application that helps you proofread for grammar and spelling. And just be aware of the character limits as you draft the application section. If you are copying and pasting your content, please check the bottom after pasting to ensure that your content hasn't been cut off due to the character limits. In the portfolio section, you can submit up to 5 media samples that provide additional context for your proposed district and that enhance your case for designation. You may provide up to 5 items, including images up to 5 megabytes each, video up to 250 megabytes, and audio up to 30 megabytes. PDFs up to 10 megabytes per file as well. And when you click submit, it will show you the red caution signs indicating incomplete sections. Let's see. It indicate incomplete sections. When your application is complete, you'll see a green check mark next to each of them, and there will be a submit button allowing you to submit your completed application. Do note that you can click save and exit in the upper right corner at any time during the process, and it will save all of your work. You by no means need to complete the application all in one sitting, and you can come back and work on it again at any time. So again, thank you for your patience as we go through that section. And that covers the technical piece of submitting the online application. So in conclusion, here is our contact information for any questions related to the designation itself. I can be reached through this email. You can also find my contact information on our website. And also for accessibility needs, as I mentioned earlier, you can contact my colleague, Lindsay Keast, and her contact information is included here as well. As you know, the deadlines we mentioned earlier in the webinar. And if you have any questions about those deadlines or are looking for additional information, please reach out. That concludes the webinar presentation for the Iowa Cultural and Entertainment Districts. We hope you have a wonderful day, and thanks for tuning in.